Hello, hello. Testing, testing. Hello, everyone. Hello. Looks like the ad break is good. Oh my gosh, I missed out on some messages. I was getting water and food. Let's see. How we doing? Hello, Zako. Alien Romulus? Cool. Hello, Matthew. Hello. How's everyone doing? So, you might notice I have a new hat. I actually have a whole new outfit. I didn't really feel the need to, I guess, advertise it, but there's a specific reason for it. There's a reason for it. Now, when we get back to the main room... Hello, Bardawolf! You got Raiko and FGO after... Oh my gosh! 500! I hope, that wasn't too much of a dent in your... you know, your collection. Well, not collection, but however much you had. But good job though. You got Raiko sent in the new movie. Okay, cool. Okay, so the reason why I'm wearing a new outfit is that I guess you'll see when we get to the main room. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Woo! Oh no! I saved up free quartz. Okay, cool. I guess that's the way to do it, right? Oh no, guys. I think a pipe burst overnight. I'm sorry. We're just gonna have to bear with it. Drowned. We're just gonna have to bear with a little bit of extra water. Well, you know what? It's a beach day. I'm still gonna be doing my little class, right? I'm still gonna be doing a little class on texture today. But we're gonna make the most of it. You guys aren't drowning. It's okay. No, Zako. No. But yeah, I also, to be honest... Oh wait, let's put on some music. Let's see, what's today's mood? There's upbeat mix, there's 2010s mix. There's R&B mix. What's in the R&B mix? Yeah, let's listen to the R&B mix. Let's see how audible that is. Okay, cool. Is Mr. Pancakes moonlighting as a plumber? Perhaps, because he's kind of the only option at this point. I'm telling you, this school has a very low budget. We're kind of doing the best with what we got, which is why this hasn't been fixed yet. Bear fail. Let's be nice. Let's be a little kinder today. But yeah, so how's everyone doing? Hello everyone, I'm Babinka Bear, artist, historian, art historian, and Sunbear PNGTuber. And I have a summer outfit now. It's the end of summer, but I still wanted to show off the summer outfit. I was working... Okay, so I worked on this outfit, let's see. Worked on this outfit, I want to say last month, but didn't actually like get around to finishing it. I think I just got like, not lazy, but just like very unmotivated, you know? Feel kind of lazy. But you know what? I think you guys also helped me, I don't know. I think last time I talked about a summer outfit and you guys said that I should post it anyway. And you know what? I ended up finishing it. I finished it and I'm pretty proud with how it turned out. There's a bit of a mix of textures in there. You know, hopefully it isn't too overwhelming, but even if it is, what the hey? Big deal. So yeah. So, today we are going to be doing some BINKA Teaches Art Appreciation. Let me go ahead and put that there. Give me a second. There we go. And I also put myself in front of the board to show off the outfit a little, but we can also just... I'll put myself on top of the table. It'll look like... Hold on. It'll look like I'm a bit squeamish, right? About going in the water. So yeah. Oh yeah, everyone, get your stickers. Hello, Shiopi. Hello. Yeah, as always, let's yap a little bit before we get right straight into class. Because, to be honest, today's presentation is a bit short. Hopefully the little guys won't drown. Yeah, I'm sure you guys will be fine, right? You guys are absorbent, probably. So, I think I don't think there's anything to worry about, really. Swimsuit is cute. Thank you, Shiopi. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I wanted to go for something cute, right? That's why the hat's there, and then I got the double floaties. I got the floaty around the waist, but also around the arms, cause I can't swim. It's a fun bit of BINKA lore for you. I can't swim, so I need all this, or else I'll drown. Everyone getting their stickers? Nice, nice. Hello, Nyanda. Hello. The arm floaties, yeah. I need them or else. Wait, actually, I can't swim. I tried many times in the past, both as a kid, as an adult, but actually, I kind of got the hang of it one time, but I also haven't had any practice since then. You're from the coast. What? You'd be surprised with how many people. I was gonna say, you'd be surprised with how many people either live on the coast or live on island nations that don't know how to swim. I feel like I've met more. At least this is the case with Filipino Americans. At least, I feel like I've met more Filipino Americans who can't swim. So yeah, but what will you do when California sinks into the sea? You know what? I actually looked into a map of if the sea levels rise, what areas are gonna get covered. And a good amount of Los Osos is gonna be covered by water. Oh no. However, there are places that I can go to that I have relatives in where I could go to. And I won't drown. So I've looked into it. We're fellow rock sinkies. It's true. That's why I need the floaties, though. I need the floaties for that specific reason. Y'all are insane. I can't swim either. I live on an island. Yeah, exactly! Exactly, right? Florida's doomed. Yeah, I haven't... I'm a bit selfish in that manner. I looked only at, what's gonna happen to California if the waters rise. I haven't looked into other places, but I'm sure even if the waters don't get me, the heat will. Climate change is the end of us all, you see. But let's we could talk about more pleasant things as well. But yeah, it's true, I can't swim. The one time I did kind of learn how to swim it was during a leadership retreat. I mentioned this many of times before, but in college I was part of a Filipino organization, and they did these leadership retreats to kind of prepare the next batch of board members of leadership. And y'all, they went kind of hard. They gave us a whole bunch of activities. And first of all, it's one of those retreats where all of us would go to an Airbnb for the weekend. It gives us a chance to bond, but it also it would be alumni that are leading these retreats, and they would give us challenges that were kind of simulations of how the semester would go. And it was a place where you could go hard. How do I say this? It's like I said, it's a simulation. So let's say that we have to have a fundraiser, but emergency, everything goes wrong. All of the board members, their cars broke down or something like that. So what do we do in that event? So it's stuff like that. But sometimes the challenges, the activities would be under the guise of something else. I'm trying to think of some ones that were a good example. You know what? The swimming one. The reason why I brought it up is we had an Airbnb with a pool one time, and the alumni actually asked us, and it turned out that half of our we're going into the stereotype, aren't we? But half of our board couldn't swim and the other half could. So it actually ended up being a very convenient activity where half of the board taught each other how to swim. And I was one of the ones who couldn't swim. And the person that helped me was actually a lifeguard. They had volunteered previously as a lifeguard. So hello, Trail. Hello. I'm just recounting first of all, new outfit. Second of all, recounting some leadership activities that we were taught. So the activity was just to teach your partner how to swim. But usually there was a way to spin these activities in a way of this is reflective of your semester, in which sometimes there's things that you're going to need help with, and if you don't ask for help, quite literally you'll drown, So there's stuff like that. There's stuff Oh, this is one of my favorite activities that I feel like anyone that goes into event planning needs to do or needs to like be aware of. So our club, we have a whole bunch of different events, right? Like cultural events, we would have fundraisers, we would have social events, we'd have parties, picnics, that kind of stuff. And we have different board members that are in charge of different things. When I was in the club, I was like in charge of like the cultural events. Meanwhile, other people are in charge of like fundraisers, right? So one of the challenges that we were given, I actually love this one a lot, is you had to make your own what's called logistics. It's basically just like a written, hey, it's basically like a written sheet of like who, what, where, when, you know, who's getting all the supplies, what is this event, where is it going to be, when is it going to be, why are we having this event, and kind of the steps of like how to actually like pull off this event. So let's say that for my event, it's a cultural workshop. I'm going to be teaching buy-in, you know. I'm gonna be teaching like how to write in like the ancient Tagalog Bisaya alphabet. So in order for that to happen, I need like slideshows. I need to book a room. I need to make sure that people promote this this activity, right? And then let's say that someone else, they have to write logistics for a fundraiser. So for that, you have to like contact the contact the business that you're going to be working with. You know, make sure to promote that activity. Like you have to like have a timeline of like, okay, when are people arriving, when are the organizers arriving, that kind of thing, right? So that's so cool. It's such an interesting looking alphabet. Yeah, I did a stream about that like months ago, like back when I was first getting started. I'd be down to return to that topic. I'd be down to teach you guys a little bit about buy-in. But there's also like several other writing systems too in the Philippines. So but yeah, so those are two examples, right? I have a cultural event, the other person has like a fundraising event. We were supposed to write our logistics, and this is the norm. You're supposed to write logistics. The activity was we write logistics, but then at the end of our time limit, we have to switch logistics. We have to switch our little papers that say everything. And the person who like received the new logistics, they have to carry out your event. And like, man, the first time we got that challenge, oh my god, it was such a good lesson of like how to properly write logistics, because it's like the reason why people have these activities is because, or like the reason why alumni wanted us to have this activity is because, like, let's say that you are going to run a workshop, but you fall sick on the day of, or your fellow board member, they're gonna run a fundraiser, but they get sick or their car breaks down the day of. What's gonna happen, right? Well, you have your other board members who can make the event happen anyway, but the only thing they have to go off of is your logistics. So that's why we had that activity. It was like, you better make sure that your logistics are written so well that someone else can do the event for you. And yeah, I still like, I love that activity. I still feel like if you ever go into like event planning or anything like that, teaching a class, blah, 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 you need to be able to write logistics that are that good. Or I guess in the context of teaching, you need to write like a lesson plan that is so detailed that someone else can do it in your place on the off chance that you get sick or that you're just unavailable, right? I really like that one. That'd be cool. I must connect with my roots. Oh, cool. Trail, you Filipino? Yeah, I'd love to teach that topic again. Yeah. You're a better person. That's my own personal nightmare. Well, yeah, that's the whole thing with these retreats, is that it's meant to like teach you leadership skills. So like, you know, the first time, like I said, the first time we were given this activity, we flopped it. We did a terrible job. Because like our logistics were like, okay, book room. Step 1, book room. Step 2, wait for people to come. Step 3, carry out the workshop. And that's it. Whereas in reality, you got to do something like, oh, you know, step 1, book the room. Step 2, wait for people to arrive. Step 3, refer to this PowerPoint. Step 4, like pass out this handout. Step 5, you know, like this is the lesson, blah, blah, blah. So So yeah, like that was a good lesson for us. But yeah, I don't mean to imply that like we killed it on the first try. We flopped so hard. We failed. We failed, but it was a lesson learned, right? It was a good lesson. If I'm out for the count, my workshops are rescheduled. Start by learning Tapsilog. Oh man. You're making me hungry. Hello, Vite. Hello, hello. Speaking of, I got acai bowls today. Or I got a acai bowl. Snake. Dun, 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 dun. But yeah, how did I get into, oh yeah, like the reason why I like, the one time I kind of learned how to swim, but since then I haven't practiced, so I feel like if you were to toss me in a pool and I don't have floaties, I would sink like a rock. Y'all need to be paid more? Are you talking about like doing like Filipino club stuff? Because we were not paid. That was all volunteer. That was all volunteer, and actually my very first teaching gig was also volunteer. But since then I've gotten paid teaching positions, but it sucks, but it is one of those things of like, I really needed to like do like unpaid, not needed, but I learned a lot through like my unpaid work. And then eventually I was able to translate that into like paid work. But if we ever meet, I'll teach you the way I learned. Oh man, no teaching since that's what you got to go through for it. Yeah. I do agree that teachers do need to be paid more. That and just like be given, there's a lot of, especially like in the sector that I work in, like museum education, like the pay is good. I think what the thing is that like people are like, a lot of educators are part-time, and even though the pay is good, sometimes the hours are crap. So like it's one of those things where like museums have to like value their workers enough not to just give them like good pay, but give them good hours too, because it doesn't, I know like educators that get paid like 65 an hour, but their hours are trash, you know, so it doesn't make that much of a difference. And not have to pay for them. Yeah, exactly, Barda Wolf. So like I do wonder how it is in like other countries, right? Like I know that there are other countries that like respect teachers and what they do, but do they have to pay for their own stuff? Is that handled by the school? I don't know. I won't tell you how I learned. You'll be surprised it's not what you think. Wink wonk. But yeah. Teaching's fun though. That's why I do like teaching streams. That's like my bread and butter. So it's worse from what I heard. Oh dang, rats. Yeah, because I've only heard of like, I guess, European countries being like, oh yeah, like education is so valued over here. But I feel like there has to be countries outside Europe, right, that like value their teachers too. Yeah, exactly, Zako. The Norse countries and Canada. Yeah, right. Dang it. God dang it. But yeah, that's why we have these classes, right? The BINKA Teaches Art Appreciation. This is actually the penultimate class for the Art Appreciation series. Praise Finland, our sleeper nation, home of the Funger. So yeah, like this series of like BINKA Teaches Art Appreciation. This is the penultimate episode, the penultimate installment. Hello, Safuri. Hello. So we're gonna talk about textures today, and then 2 weeks from now, our last lesson is gonna be on space, the last place uncorrupted by capitalism, space. And that's gonna be the last of this series, but I'm still gonna do educational streams, but we would be changing topics. It'd be stuff like BINKA Teaches Egyptian Mythology, BINKA Teaches Baybayin, BINKA Teaches Gothic Architecture, BINKA Teaches, what else do I like? Hetalia. I recall, at least for English teachers in Japan, that one person described it as, you're basically an entertainer. Oh no. It's just like when I taught, I used to teach kindergarten, but it was only for the summer. I taught kindergarten for the summer, and it felt more like being an entertainer than anything. Like I did have to teach them things, right? But it was like, hey kids, you know what we're gonna learn today? Okay, who who knows the three big rules? Don't push each other, don't make a mess, and don't push each other. Oh, good job, champ. Wow. Oh man. Let's see. Premiered to when he was on Trash Taste. I used to watch Trash Taste. I stopped. I don't know. I have like mixed opinions on because those three I did used to like listen to their anime takes and like for the most part agree with them, but I feel like little by little I ended up just like not vibing with them as much. Trying to think. I still like watch other anime YouTubers. Like I still watch Mother's Basement, Giguk. Well, Giguk is part of Trash Taste, but who else? Super Eye Patch Wolf. He's not exclusively anime, but like he has some really good videos. I think Elon corrupted space a couple of years ago. It's true, he did. I heard something about like there's some astronauts that are stuck in the International Space Station, and like the soonest they can be like brought back to Earth is like 2 months from now or something like that. And like it's gonna be like the SpaceX rockets, I guess, that get them. Hold on, I gotta mute for a second. Okay, I thought I heard scratching at the door, but Schnackery, he's just chilling. But hello, Robbie. Hello. Welcome. All right, how long have I been yapping? I think it's about that time. It's about that time that we get started, right? So, like I said, this week's presentation isn't super long, but who knows? It might be like the last installment where like it wasn't supposed to be that long, but you guys helped to like bring up some other topics that helped kind of like enhance our knowledge, right? So, today's lesson is on texture. We're gonna be talking about textures today. So, the artists that were posted in Art Appreciation, I think so far it's Halbernacht and Zocco. We're not gonna go over their works today. That's gonna be for next week when we do Art Appreciation proper. Because I already have some works over here on the screen. Oh, I need to turn on my highlighter, my laser pointer. Whoa! But who knows? If we have time, then maybe we'll go over them. But so for now. Yeah, Halbert. Yeah, I'd be down to look at Halbernacht's work. Their work looks really cool. So, yeah. But yeah, we're going to talk about textures. We're going to talk about crunchy textures and cromulent textures and smooth and soft and all of that good stuff. So, this is one of the topics that, like, it's not super duper my strength, only because a lot of it does involve, like, 3D art. Or like, yeah, 3-dimensional art, but it does also like involve 2-dimensional art, but like the illusion of making texture. We'll get into that in a little bit. It's just that like I personally am not great with texture, like especially in my own art. So, but we'll get to it when we get there, right? Okay, let's do a little bit of review. So, this stuff should be if you've been tuning in since the beginning of this series, this is all a lot of repetition, but we're gonna repeat it anyway for those that like haven't tuned in or that just want a little bit of a review. So we looked at lines and shapes for the first couple of weeks, right? We looked at how like things like square shapes and straight lines, they're stable and solid, whereas like round shapes and curvy lines like this, they're comforting and cute. And then things with sharp angles and zigzags, so like this triangle, right, or just like zigzag lines, they're dynamic but they're dangerous, like a pointy needle, right? But all of these rules, as well as like all the other rules that I'm going to be talking about for today, they can always be broken in interesting ways and uninteresting ways. And then in the following weeks, we talked about form, which is basically just 3D shapes. We're actually going to be looking at some 3D shapes today, actually, some 3D works. We talked about stuff like clay, stone, wood, plastic, paper, mache. We're going to be looking into more today. We're going to be looking at bronze. We're going to be looking at, what else? Oh, textile, that kind of stuff. Maybe a little bit of ivory, like from elephants, and rhinos. And then sometimes people shape shapes in different ways because of cultural stuff. So, you know, an ancient Egyptian art might be stiff and stable, or stiff but stable, and Greek ancient art would be dynamic but delicate. It could be easily broken. Oh no. And then we talked about value too. Value is like basically light and dark. The Kingdom Hearts quotes, right? So you have your shadows, the darkest part, your highlights, the lightest part, your midtones, everything in between. And then if you have a work that has a good amount of contrast, it helps to make it all the more clearer, right? So this is all review. And then not last week, 2 weeks ago, we talked about color. One of my favorite subjects, right? So we have the color wheel, right? That's not how I actually pronounce it, but we gotta emphasize it. The color wheel. Colors can be cool or warm, including like within the same hue. So here's green, right? Here's a cool green, but here's a warm green, right? And then you can put colors together, and then they can make really cool combinations. Like, for example, look at my cute new outfit. It's got a little bit of yellow, it's got a little bit of purple, and got a little bit of blue. So the purple and yellow would be an example of complementary. Like, they're opposite ends of the color wheel. But the blue and purple, and a little bit of pink too if you look at my little floaty, those are analogous. So they're right next to each other on the color wheel. So those are just two examples of color schemes. And I actually have a site that I started using recently. It's called Color Calculator. I just want to show you this before we get into the new stuff. Here you go. This is a nice little cheat sheet. Nice little cheat sheet for helping with like setting colors. So basically it's just here. Like, it's all here in this little color wheel. So let's say that you're doing a piece of art. You know what? This is what I did earlier when I was looking at in the Art Assist channel on Discord. I think Matthew, you had like posted something about like making a space bear, and it was kind of it was a couple days ago, so I was late. but like, for example, if I want to, let's say, like make another outfit for myself, I would get the color of my fur, which is somewhere in between blue and purple. I affectionately call it blurple. It's a little too purple. Let's do, yeah, something like that. So I have my color right here. I'm going to choose a harmony. So I could do complementary. So look, the opposite of my color of blurple would be like a gold. Which is cool because I love gold. It's actually one of my favorite colors. Blurple was such a pain to find the right color for. Yeah, I appreciate you for trying to go into it, right? Let's actually make this a little bit more blue. Yeah, close enough. So that's complementary, right? They're opposite ends of the color wheel. Also monochromatic, which is like a similar color. Analogous, so like, you know, they're all kind of like on the same end of the color wheel. Then we get into some like kind of more complicated stuff. So they're split complementary. What that is that like, this is your main color, right? The blurple, my fur color. But instead of just one complementary, instead of the gold, it's like split. So it's like this bright yellow and this like reddish orange. So that's an idea. This is an idea for a color scheme. And then there's triadic, which is like they're all kind of equidistant from each other, but in 3 ways. So now you have this like purple, this blurple. You know what? I'm realizing too that it might look different from my screen than your screen, because to me this is still kind of purplish, but I'm looking at OBS and it looks pretty blue. This looks like a lime green to me. But on OBS, it looks more like a yellow. And then this one is like more orangey to me. So tetradic is very similar, except it's 4. So they're 4 and they're kind of equidistant. So someone was like helping out on Randon's art stream last week. And they actually put it in a really good way. I think they said it's 2 sets of complementaries. So, you know, these 2 are opposites, but then these 2 are opposites. So yeah. So that's a little bit of advanced, like, not advanced, but like, it's a little cheat sheet. So I'm actually going to put it in the chat in case you guys also want to use that for your own reasons. But yeah, so this is all review. And now we get into the new stuff. Whoa! So what is texture? That's going to be our topic for today. It makes you really feel like Batman. I mean, not like Batman, but texture is basically like how a work feels, like physically with your touch. I'm not talking about like emotionally, but like if you were to touch this artwork, what would it feel like? Or in the case of 2D art or digital art or art that's behind a screen, like at a museum or something, how does it look like it would feel? So I chose, this is a pretty famous painting, right? Van Gogh or Van Gogh. Us Bear Americans, we say Van Gogh, but I know that everywhere else they say it different, right? Van Gogh. But Van Gogh over here, we have Starry Night. There's like a famous one, because it's just so. To me, I think the biggest strengths of this one are the colors. We were just talking about colors, right? So like, this is kind of complementary because there's the blue. And the opposite of blue is actually orange, but this is like kind of close. It's like yellow. And this is also why there's that theory. I think I mentioned this before. There's this theory that Van Gogh might have been colorblind. Because if you have a certain type of color blindness, blue and yellow are kind of the shades that you, or rather the hues that you see more of. So if you see this work and a couple other of his works, he really emphasizes the blue and yellow. But, you know, we don't know for sure. We don't know for sure. It's just a theory. It's just a gamer theory, right? that he might have been colorblind. Which is cool, because then that shows the whole, like, you know, you don't need to be able to see every single color to be an artist. There are colorblind artists out there. Maybe even one of the more famous ones. So, it's not just the color, though. What I really like, too, is the texture. You can't touch this, right? Like, well, you can. You can touch your screen if you really want to, but... And you can't really touch the painting itself because it's most likely like on the other side of glass, right? At a museum. But it looks like the texture is apparent and it's implied. It looks like if you were to brush your finger up, that this would maybe be rough to the touch, right? And then here, like, it kind of looks like it radiates out. It's very possible that it could be smooth. But it looks like it would be rough to the touch, kind of in a satisfying way. So it's the same thing with like digital art. That is made digitally, you know, like you can't really touch it unless you like print it out, but then you'd be touching the paper. It can have the illusion of texture, even if it doesn't actually have texture. So that's what texture is. It's what a work either feels like or looks like it would feel. Wait, did I phrase that right? Like, or how it looks like it would feel, right? So, but yeah, we can't always touch a piece of art, but the way it looks can communicate what it might feel like. So yeah, feel free to like take a look at this painting. Like I said, it's infamous for not infamous, but it's well known for a reason, right? It has like really good color, really good texture, arguably really good space too, which we will talk about 2 weeks from now. But yeah, so that's one showcase of texture. And now, what are ways that we can describe the texture? So now let's think like an art appreciator, right? Let's say that we're looking at a piece of work like this one. This is a close-up of a statue. It's like kind of 2D, kind of 3D. It's it juts out of the rock that it was carved from. So if you look at it, you might want to imagine, or actually I'll prompt you guys if you guys want. So what do you guys think anything on this piece would feel like, right? For me, there's like curls over here that I would love to touch. But once again, this is probably in a museum. Here, this one's local actually. So this one, like, is probably behind a museum wall or museum glass. But if you could touch it, what do you think it would feel like? And here's some words that you could use too. So smooth, bumpy, rough, soft, solid, fluffy, jagged, and there's more. This isn't exhaustive, so you know it's. You can also kind of go into like, oh, it feels like this. I'd say bumpy and smooth. Yeah, exactly. Especially because like there's multiple textures going on here. Like if you look here at the cheeks, actually, I think we could probably look at the entire thing. What is this again? Eagle-headed deity. This one is like Mesopotamian. I think Assyrian. Here you go. This is like the whole thing. Sorry for the flashbang. It's suddenly very light, isn't it? Is there another? What's this? Ah, okay, that's a better one. So yeah, as you can see, there's multiple textures going on, right? Oh, thank you, Bartawolf. So yeah, you said bumpy for the detail, but smooth for the weathering. Yeah, I agree. So like over here, the cheeks of this figure is probably really smooth. Like here's probably really smooth. Probably the background's really smooth, but probably bumpy for everything else, right? Especially like here, the curly hair. Here's the feathers, right? It's probably like very like, it probably has like ridges. Here, this one's kind of wavy. What else? And there's probably like a mix of bumpy and smooth here, like for here, the necklace. What else? Oh, here, the hair. That's also kind of very wavy, very textured, right? So there's all types of different ways that you could describe texture. So, smooth and bumpy are good starts, but then people can also say like, oh, it's like it feels like feathers, or it feels like ridges, or it feels like hair curls. You could also just say feels like, right? Hello, Bear. Welcome. So yeah. So thank you for joining in as well. But yeah, so like there's a whole bunch of different ways that you could describe texture, especially when you like look at a piece of art. So yeah. Hello. Glad you could join. Let's see. Oh yeah. So if any of you are budding artists or just artists in general, there's different ways to create texture. So I put here that like texture can be created with generalized and specialized tools. This is what I mean by that. So generalize is like let's say that you have a digital art program open, and you know, you don't have any special brushes on it whatsoever, or you know what, we don't even have to go fancy. MS Paint. Actually, you know what, let me try something right now. Give me a second. Let's see if I can. I'm doing this on the fly. We're gonna display window, MS Paint. There you go. So I don't have my tablet open at the moment, so we're just gonna do this with mouse. But let's say you open up MS Paint, all you got is like the basic this, right? So it's like, oh, there's no way I can make texture with that. No, you can. So let's start with like a circle. Let's say that you want to like make this a little fluffy. There's plenty of ways that you could do that. You could do like just adding little bits of fluff to this. You can even add bigger tufts, right, of fluff. It's just a little bit more time consuming compared to like programs like oh my god, this looks like the back of a head actually. It's a bit more time consuming than something like Clip Studio Paint or Paint Tool Sci or Procreate, but it's doable. You know what, I think actually Baba Nana's art would be a really good example of like how you can create texture with just like simple brushes, right? You can also add texture with just like repeating lines like that. I'm just using my mouse for this. You could do like bigger lines and do something called like cross hatching. These are all ways that you could just do. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you. Yeah, so Baba Nana also started streaming recently, like within the last week or so. I've only been able to drop in a couple of times because that's like morning hours for me, and sometimes I'm working at the moment. But every time I pop in, their art is amazing, is unmatched. So yeah, I'd say like check out their stuff. So yeah, you don't need a fancy brush to make like awesome textures. We actually have some examples up here, right? So you can use like little W shapes to make like fluff. You can make bigger W shapes for bigger fluff. But here you can also use like V shapes, right? To make it a little bit more jagged, kind of like feathers. You could use just like dash lines to make something look like hair or fur. You can use these like repeated W shapes to make something like scales, like on a snake. And this one, I think I was just messing around, but these are kind of just like square shapes. They kind of remind me of like Aztec style or like Mesoamerican style like textures. So yeah, you don't need a fancy tool to make like certain textures. And that's what I call generalized. Like it's a very general tool that like is kind of like your baby's first like MS Paint drawing, right? However, it is also really helpful, especially if you do have the capability of getting like a special brush, right? I copied this from CS Clip Studio Paint. They have a free asset store where you can download different kinds of brushes, and sometimes it just makes things easier. So I am in no way a purist of one way or the other. I've said this before. If you're starting out with art, especially digital art, it is very useful to learn how to make textures and learn how to just draw with a very, very basic brush, because you train yourself on how to like make those textures all by yourself, right? But eventually, if you just get a really nice textured brush, it's life-changing. Actually, Milky recommended this one here, the cream pencil. I love it. It's kind of like exactly as it implies. It's a very creamy texture to it, and I like it a lot. So it's really good for like sketching, really good for rendering. I recommend it. Now, oh yeah, so all of this is like talking about digital art, right? So you can use a basic brush with repeating patterns, or you can use a specialized brush. But guess what? The same goes with traditional art. So, I like to think of Bob Ross. Actually, I think I can pad out some time by let's look at a Bob Ross video real quick. Cuz he himself also like he uses both like generalized and specialized tools. You know, I'm just going to bring up a random Bob Ross episode. Let's see. So an example of like a specialized tool would be like the way that he makes mountains is he always uses a palette knife. Here we go. I know the music's still playing, but that's fine. But he also uses this large brush for like in different ways and manners too, right? And then another thing that he uses is it's something called a fan brush. Yes, exactly, Matthew. Where is it? Because he uses like to make the gradients, he uses a large brush. But you can also use that brush to paint like other details. And then he's gonna take out the fan brush. There we go. So he uses different tools, basically, is what I'm saying. Some of them are made just to, like, well, not just to, but, like, he uses one tool just for one thing. Like, for example, the palette knife to make mountains. Though the actual use of a palette knife is to help mix colors. But, you know, he uses it for that reason. But then he can also use, like, the large brush to both make gradients, but to also paint water. And then he uses the fan brush as well. So, you know, like I said, I'm not a purist on like you have to only use the basic brush or you have to use specialized brushes. It's a good mix of both. I also think of carving, right? Like I don't actually have a lot of experience with carving, but I've watched videos before of like people who carve into clay, and there's different specialized tools for that as well. I don't know if you're ever gonna find a purist that's like, no, you only have to use this instrument to carve the head and nothing else. But yeah. That's basically the basics of how to create texture is with your tools. So let's move on. So we're already kind of at the latter half of this is what I mean. Like today's presentation is pretty short. But I think if we have time, then maybe we can look at other examples. So like maybe I will go back on what I said before. Maybe we'll look at Halbernacht and some of Zako's stuff, and then maybe some of Babanana's stuff too. So now we're getting into looking at artists that use texture in very interesting ways. So this is Jacek Yerka. I was trying hard not to recommend John Blanche again, but texture, yeah, we could look at him. So let me just get a window open just to make sure, or just so I don't forget. So this is an artist named Jacek Yerka. They were actually recommended by I think it's Reddy. Reddy's Lab was the one who recommended this artist. And we can actually, since we have a good amount of time, we can just admire his works. Here we go. So I chose this one though in particular because there's just such a different mix of textures going on. So this is like a fantasy creature that I'm assuming that he created. But look at the different textures that you can identify, right? Like you can see over here, there's fluff. It looks like a fluffy tail. And you can, I don't know how much we can zoom in. But you can also kind of see how he made that texture. It's with a lot of like basically like straight lines, right? Straight lines, but or dashed lines, and then he just keeps on extending it and extending it. And here's the kicker: this is kind of a hack that helped me create better textures as well. Overlap. If you're imagining this creature, and if you imagine that it just cuts off here, there's one of two assumptions. You can either assume that like it's not super long fur, or this is probably like overlapping it, like an outfit overlapping like a doggy or something like that. But this helps create the fact that it's long and it overlaps like this question mark piece of clothing or bone or outfit. It shows that the fur is very fluffy, very long, maybe a little bit unruly. So yeah, so there's fur textures here. There's horn textures, like ivory textures over here, and it looks like they do that with, instead of some dash lines, they do like big long lines that kind of cover the entire horn. And then over here, this kind of reminds me of like an elephant trunk. This reminds me of the art from Where the Wild Things Are. Ah, that's another one that we could look at as well. Yeah. It's funny, I was looking back at some of my old art, and I remember I made a parody like cover of Where the Wild Things Are. Yeah, Maurice Sendak. Yeah. But it was for if you guys are familiar with Vesper Noir, he had a break like around November of 2022, and people did like an art challenge, I guess, where like they kind of drew him with different themes, and I did one that was like based off Where the Wild Things Are, and I called it Where the Vest Friends Are, even though like I don't think he ever used the term like best friends after the first stream. I think he defaulted to besties. Which is also good, right? Also cute. But yeah, so what was I saying? Oh yeah. So this kind of reminds me of like an elephant trunk, right? And you can see that not only did they use long lines, but they curved it too. If this person were to just use straight lines, it wouldn't quite look as convincing, but instead they're using lines that are curving, and they're also converging at a single point. So that way it gives this illusion that it's almost like an elephant trunk. So yeah, art like this can really show you just like how to create textures. So another one is like the smoke over here. They use like, I want to say it's like a softer brush to do that. Eldritch Elephant. Yeah. So let me show you more of this guy's work. So this is, I don't know if I'm pronouncing their name right, but Jacek Yerka. Wait, what? Oh, thank you for the gifted sub to Halbernocht. I was like, wait, howdy to Halbernocht. Is he in stream? Like, how, for some reason I'm not seeing it, or were you just saying hi to give him a sub? But yeah. Oh yeah, so let's take a look at the paintings of Jacek Yerka. Nice, thank you for the big emote. Because this artist in general is just really good at textures. So let's look at this one, the Four Seasons. And I want to get back to what you said, Bear, about like the Eldritch Elephant, because they have a whole section just dedicated to creatures. Can we make this bigger, I wonder? Yeah, look at that. Oh, cute bear! Bear mention! But yeah, so this is titled Four Seasons, and it shows like, the different four seasons, of course. But there's a little bear, he's kind of just chilling over here. I think this is summer. Woo! Yeah, fellow bear! Bear mention! They're kind of chilling. I think this is summer, and then we have spring, the little froggy. I see a polar bear over here for winter, and then, is there an animal here? I love this song. Is it Apple? Hey! How come I keep getting hit by stuff? So yeah, these are good. Oh yeah. So let's look at some of the textures. Look at the bushes over here. It kind of looks like you can imagine just taking like a brush and just drawing a lot of circles. Oh, fulfill the request queue. I see. Yeah. Oh no worries about that. I don't even look at the request queue a lot, to be honest. But thank you. For bushes, if you want to know how to do bushes or any kind of foliage, or foliage as they say on The Simpsons. Foliage. It's pretty much a circular brush and just doing a whole bunch of these like little circles, but you can also vary the colors too. So if you make it darker and then keep on like getting lighter and lighter, that's a pretty convincing bush there, right? Let's see, what else? Let's look at some of his creatures. I want to see his creatures. How do I go back? Oh, Schnackery, you scared me. Schnackery hopped up on the desk next to me. Creatures. Yeah, okay. So this is like the really cool. Well, all of his stuff is really cool. But when I saw these, it's like, oh my gosh, this guy's a pro. This guy's a pro. So let's see. We looked at the Eldritch, creatures. We got the Eldritch Elephant. We also got some snail friends. This one's awesome. Can we look a little bit closer? Oh, I guess that's as big as it gets, but yeah, big orange slug. There we go. Look at the slug, like they really like if you look at how they did the textures here, you can kind of see how to do something similar in say like a digital art program. So let's take a look at the slug over here. And I want you to imagine that, like, you see how it's like orange up here? Like the lines in between these little like squares and shapes. It's orange and then it gets into like a deeper orange. I feel like, you know what? We can actually let's try to copy this. And you know what? I am gonna break out the tablet. Do I have room for my tablet? There we go. Okay. Let's see how much we can copy. I want to make this a little bigger. Oh, here, size. So let's say I want to draw like a slug. Oh no, we can't increase the brush size. That's one of the weaknesses with MS Paint. But yeah, so this is what I'm kind of envisioning with the slugs, or at least how Jacek Yerka did it. You have your slug color, and notice I'm not doing the textures just yet. I'm just filling in the color. And yes, I'm missing a lot of white spots because the brush size, but it's okay. In fact, I wonder if we can make this smaller. There we go. So that we can see both. We can see both at the same time. And then there's a deeper orange. We're gonna put some spots like down here. Oh, who is this? Luke Chiang. I've never heard this artist before. This is chill. I might want to check out some more of this guy's music. Hello, Gojikins. Hello. I'm trying to copy this. I'm not gonna do it justice, of course, but we're trying to copy how this awesome artist Jacek Yerka, how they did the textures on this slug. Right, so I got my my colors down. If we wanted to do a little bit, oh, thank you for the you're petting my snout because I'm standing on the table. If we wanted to go the extra mile, we could also get a color that's in between the yellow and an orange. Oh yeah, get your stickers, get your stickers. So you know, we could give ourselves a little bit more of a transition like that, but you don't have to. Like I said, I'm just kind of like demonstrating what I think the basic steps to make a similar texture. Okay, so we have kind of like the base color now. Oh, you know what? We can also add a little bit here. And now to create those spots, let's get this brown color. Looks like they did this. And you're basically just like doing very like it's like these repeatable shapes or repeating shapes. Not repeatable. Base color, get time to make little islands cobble. Exactly. You're making little cobblestones on top of it, right? And from there you can kind of just like exactly like Gojikin said, just like make little cobblestones. And that way you make a little bit of a texture. And once again, this isn't meant to be perfect. This isn't meant to be like a one-to-one. But at the very least, you're like creating texture. There's other things you could do as well. Like you can, for one, you can actually pay. I'm just kind of like drawing shapes, but you can make it so it's like they fit neatly into each other. Hello, beeplebees. Hello, welcome. Welcome. I was thinking about you lately because I was like, you know, it's been a while since I played like a Digimon game because I've been focusing more so on like the Digimon like watch-alongs. But I was like, oh man, I should play like an actual Digimon game one of these days. Or one of the two that I said I would play, and then I was like, oh, it's too grindy. And then I dropped one grindy game for another grindy game. Hello, Owen. And Cielo. Oh my god, both of you. Double raid! All the way across the sky! Hello. Alright, let's see who we got here. Hello, we are doing a lesson on texture, and I decided to take a little bit of a break to draw out like how to create like the textures that you're seeing. Some of the textures. Hello, I was I was watching your streams a little bit before I started. Let's see, we're making happy little cobblestones. It's true. So hello, Cielo. Hello, Owen. Hello, Ghosty. Hello. My understanding is that Digimon games are pretty solid. They are. It's just that like for the most part, a lot of them are very grindy. So hello, Cielo. Hello, Toge. You love this? Oh yeah, I have a new outfit. The room is flooded, but I'm sure you guys will be fine. I'm staying high and dry here with my little floaties. So yeah. Hello, Gloomvey. Hello. Welcome. Let's see. We're underwater. Yeah, you guys are fine. I'm pretty sure you guys are fine. I'm a sea slug. Yeah, exactly. See, you're a sea slug. Love the swimsuit. Thank you. I had this in the works for a little bit, but I had no motivation to actually work on it until I was pretty much inspired by your outfit reveal, Owen. I was like, I've been working on this a while, and like I probably should actually like do something with it, right? So yeah. Let's get cute. Exactly. Mr. Pancakes. Yeah, Mr. Pancakes is moonlighting as a janitor. I think he's doing great. We're underwater. You guys are fine. You guys can swim, right? I'm sure you guys are fine. You look adorable. Thank you. Oh yeah, so I know you guys were playing Kirby's Air Ride. How was the rest of it? How was the rest of the stream? I was enjoying it because I thought it was like, I'm not usually one for racing games. But as I was watching you guys, I was like, oh, there's like really fun little like mini games and stuff in it. So and like the little different like mechanics of like how to play it, right? So yeah. Drowned! Oh no, beeplebees! No, someone resuscitate beeplebees. I thought you guys were we're just little absorbent guys. Now I'm trying to think of like how would batter like react to water. It would probably melt, huh? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Love Kirby Air Ride. It's so fun. Yeah, it looked fun. It looked fun. I liked your guys' conversation too about stuff like we were talking about the Game Shark and Kirby voring things and whatnot. So we'll remember you people, please. No, someone resuscitate them, please. I said this before. I can't swim. If he dies, he dies. Oh yeah, we were talking earlier for those that raid. Oh, by the way, my usual like raid thing. If you guys have to raid and run, no worries. Same for your viewers, you know, no worries at all. But if you guys also want to stick around, I'd be happy to have you guys here. Feel free to chill in chat or lurk, or like I said, if you got a jet, you got a jet. No worries about that. Yeah, the Discord is there too. If you guys want to hang out. Okay, so yeah, I was just doing like a little sample of like how you would do like a texture, even with like the most basic of tools, right? So I'm working off MS Paint, which I'm not a pro at MS Paint. There are plenty of artists such as Babanana who are like way more practiced with it. But you know, I just wanted to kind of show off that like we were talking earlier about like the tools to make texture in art. You don't always need specialized brushes, but it is nice to have them. You know, I was just saying that I wouldn't be a purist either way or not. Like, I'm not gonna be like, no, you have to make it with the most basic of brushes and that's it. Or like, no, you have to use like a specialized brush to make that or else. Like, it's really according to like what you prefer. But sometimes having specialized tools does in fact help. So yeah, I was just trying to, we're looking at the art of an artist named, I'm already forgetting, Jacek Yerka. We're doing a little bit of samples with, let me get some colors out here. You can also like vary the colors of the cobblestones as well. You can also add things like, you know, brighter colors in between the cobblestones. That can also help with texture. But yeah. Oh, there's gonna be an ad break soon. The brushes make it easier, but doing it with basic tools helps you appreciate where those special brushes are best used. Exactly. I couldn't have said it any better myself. Thank you, Gojikins. That's an excellent point. So, but yeah. We'll go back to that page actually. Let's go back to that slide. This isn't my slideshow. There we go. Oh, here. Yeah, you can do it with any old brush, but having like a specialized brush also helps a lot. So yeah. There is an ad incoming in the next 30 seconds, but we'll go over to, you know what, since the room is flooded, we can go out to the yard. We can go to recess where it's not as flooded. The cars are still there, but I'm sure we'll be fine. Besides, I think you guys need some fresh air. We get to eat the cars. Oh no. I mean, detention, you guys can dry off in detention. So, you know, yeah, let's go to recess. There we go. I'm a little underdressed for recess, but yeah, don't eat the cars, don't try to steal anything, unless you are 100% sure that you won't get caught. But when the ad break starts, go ahead and just have fun amongst yourselves. A car! Nom nom nom. Go out to the yard to dry off, then back in the pool. Exactly. My favorite car to eat is the red one. It tastes like cherry! Oh no, not the Casper car. The Casper and the Randon car. Does that mean the Randon car tastes like green apple? So we can fence a car at the school's underground parking lot? Mm-hmm. You sure can? I know, did you notice in the corner there's like an underground portion? Only one way to find out. Oh dear. Oh dear me. Okay, it's recess time. The ad's starting. I'm gonna grab a drink of water. Okay, we're back. You know what's funny? As soon as I muted my mic, I kept on hearing some weird noises in the distance. I don't know. I'm really hoping it's just fireworks, but it was like a loud booming sound. So who knows? We're gonna see what happens. I think it's just fireworks, but it's like, why? It's oh, I'm hearing it again. But it's also like, it's April 15th. Why are people putting out fireworks, you know? Okay, let's see. Let's catch up, and then we'll get back to class. So get your water wings ready, everybody. We should part these out. Dodgeball! What are the... What was it from Dodgeball? Like, duck, dive, duck, dodge... Oh, and can you help us take apart these cars so we can sell the parts on the black market? Oh no! I told you guys you have to make sure you're not gonna get caught. We just gotta put on foraging mode and see if a key spawns nearby for one of these, unless someone's spec'd into electrician. Oh no! That Itasha is a work of art. I can't take it apart. It's true, right? Isn't it cute? Can't believe someone just parked it here at the school. I didn't spec into electrician. Oh no. One of the last times Goji and I visited my parents, their backyard neighbors fired shots into the air at midnight. Oh man, is it one of those like gotta keep the rent down type of things? I've seen the meme of like sometimes you just gotta boom boom boom. I wonder if that's what's happening right now. Someone's just like keeping the rent down. April 15th is National Illegal Fireworks Day in the States, no? I mean mayhaps for chaps. Oh my god, is that it, Bearware? Dip, duck, dodge, dive, and dodge. Smart. Just go burglar 5-head. Well, damn. It's true. Alright, are you guys ready for... Do you guys have your water wings ready? We're gonna go back in the classroom. It's still flooded. Alright, I'm here on the table, but you guys gotta figure out your own system, okay? Oh no! Okie doke. So yeah, that's the art of Jacek Yerka. We're looking at stuff like this. He has a really cool website too. Let me link it to you. I think it's just called Yerkaland. Teacher, I'm a drown. You guys are gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. Not enough young in the lungs for the water wings. Oh no. Nah, you guys are gonna be fine. Oh my god, is Randon already live? What the heck? It's 7:43. What do you mean he's live? I'm so used to him like streaming at like 8 or 9. Oh no, I thought I had more time. That's one heck of a mobile home on the blue stuff, right? It's cute. It like reminds me of like Baba Yaga. He was in general chat talking about starting. Ah, this guy. Well, we can actually not necessarily end, because we are at the part where we pretty much covered the main topic. We're talking about texture, talking about types of texture. Chicken leg hut, my beloved. Yes, Gojikins, the Baba Yaga. So now we're at the part where we're just admiring examples, right? So we can pretty much get through this, and maybe we'll end by like 8 o'clock my time, which, you know, it's almost 7:45 for me. And then we'll raid into the Stimky Orc. We'll raid into him. Alright, this is another artist I really like. I followed them as far back as when I was like more active on Instagram. When I tried to like have an Instagram art account and tried to like make that a thing. But ultimately didn't work out that great. But this is Alai Ganuza. They have... I actually don't know their pronouns. I should probably look into it. Alai Ganuza. I'm gonna link their Twitter account. Oh, thank you, Matthew. Here's another link. So yeah, they also, not only do they do texture really well, their colors are incredible. So for one, this is one of the first... These two are like very recent, actually, fairly recent. At least from what I saw. Oh no, actually, just kidding. The Sync one is from June 2023. The Egg one is from earlier this year. It's from February. So, but it's like the most like recent things on their Twitter account at the very least. But yeah, like, so the texture here isn't even just like what they're trying to show, because if we just look at what they're trying to show, it's a sink with like metal parts, and that already has a lot of texture, because look at how they rendered the pipe, right? They use a mix of like color and texture. So like there's a lot of shine because metallic things are very shiny, and usually this is a good those are the prettiest eggs I've seen. Yeah, same, right? There's just so much color. It's so rich in color. But the way that they make it work with texture is like I said, for the metallic part, in terms of rendering metal is basically just reflecting what's in front of it. So another thing with metal is that it has very high contrast, meaning like that the dark parts are very dark. So look at this color, very dark, and then the highlights are usually very, very light. So there's high contrast. So that's one way that you can render something metal, is with that high contrast. And then you also kind of want to imagine that like whatever is in front of the metal is kind of what's going to be shown on it, but just a little bit warped. They're also showing a sink. Sinks are usually made out of like porcelain or ceramic, something like that. Or at least this white one looks like it would be. So they also put some shine in there, you know? There's like little dabs of like shine here. They kind of ghosted their brush over it too. You see also the texture here on what looks like a glass bottle. But here's the thing. Not only is there texture on what they're trying to show, there's also texture with the medium that they're using. What I mean by that is that like if you look really carefully, you can see the brush strokes. So look over here. This is like a light teal green, right? And it's actually transitioning into this like pink. But you can see that it's not a smooth transition. It's actually kind of intentionally like what's called painterly. Painterly just means that you can see the brush stroke. So you see like a brush stroke here, brush stroke here. And it's kind of imperfect, but very intentionally so. And it makes this effect that's just really, like, it's a really cool transition. Yeah, exactly. Look at them shine. Just draw the imaginary environment warped along the curves of the metal. Exactly, Gojikins. Exactly. So not only is there like the texture of the metal, the texture of the porcelain, the texture of the glass, the texture of the brick, there's also the texture of the brush that they're using too. So you see the same thing here with the eggs. This is actually one of, I think, this isn't the first time they've painted eggs before. And I think one of their egg paintings was like what initially caught my eye. Why like I initially followed them on like Instagram and Twitter and stuff like that. So I love how they do like the crispy texture on the edge of the eggs. This is actually like when my dad cooks eggs, this is like my favorite like my favorite like type. Like when he makes the edges super crispy like this. It's best too if you have like a super melty yolk, like crispy on the outside, melty on the inside type thing. Ooh, that's my favorite. Now the question is, how did the artist do this? So for one, the color, definitely. The crispiness you could see with just like this gold brown, orange gold brown colors. But then they also like add, look at the bubbles. Like if you've ever cooked eggs like on high heat before, you kind of get this, well, actually I'm not much of a cook, but that's what I assume, right? The yolk is for egg dip. I love the yolk a lot because like it's not, oh, you know what? This is a question I have for you guys. My parents always refer to the yolk as the red part. They always call it the red, but growing up, I always saw the yolks as like orange yellow. And I found out later is because like depending on like what kind of eggs you use and maybe even like the kind of eggs where you grew up, some of the yolks will actually be more red than yellow. My chickens give the best yolk. Oh, cool! You got chickies. You got chickens. So fresh eggs are very orange to red. It's dark orange pretty much. Yeah. For me though, I grew up with like actually like yellow. Like yellow. So it was confusing to me whenever my parents would call it like the red part. But I think it's also maybe just the matter that they had fresher eggs growing up. Store-bought is very yellow due to how they're processed. There you go. I think that's what it is. I think that's what it is. I grew up with very processed eggs. I think they grew up with like fresh eggs. You have 4? That's awesome. That's so awesome. I hope they're doing well and they're getting those fresh eggs for you. Getting as if they're like retrieving them. I hope they're making those fresh eggs good for you. But yeah, so getting back into, you get like this bubbly texture, but look at how they use like color in conjunction with like the highlights, because that's not white they're using, that's yellow. And the yolk, I mean, not the yolk, the egg white is not actually white, it's like a blue. So when you put blue against this yellow, it really shows that highlight, and it really kind of like sells that texture. My American brain took me a bit to get used to the orange instead of the yellow. Yeah, same. I just grew up on such processed foods, really. They're cute AF. Aw, cute. I assume the outer coating took a lot to get used to. Exactly. So, with the yolk too, getting back to the yolk. So look how, like, this whole conversation, right, of like, are yolks red, orange, yellow? So they use all three, and a dash of very vibrant blue too. So I like that. I like that. This is like a really cool way of like using both texture and color in conjunction. Let's see. Is there more I want to say about this? Actually, yeah, like it's assumed that this is like frying in like a metal pan, right? But they don't just use like, what do you usually associate with like a metal pan? Like maybe a silver, maybe a gray, maybe like a dark color. But here they're using like pink and red and like purple and blue and magenta, like all these colors. But I think the highlights are really doing like a lot of heavy lifting here. So yeah. So check out this artist Aliga Nusa. Really good, really awesome work. All right, we got 3 more slides to get through, but I'm gonna do one thing. I'm gonna mute, just turn on my lights because it's getting kind of dark in here. All right, I'm back. Oh wait, sorry. I just got a text message from Beans' brother. Sorry. Give me another second. Give me another second. No, don't riot. No. I'm not abandoning you. I'm not. So Beans and his brother are they went out to hang out with some coworkers, and they just texted our family chat saying, "Do you guys want Chipotle?" And I'm like, "I want Chipotle." However, I have a long like I have a usual, right? It's like a rice. It's like a burrito bowl. But it's like too much to write out, so I was like, oh, let me know if my usual order is already on Beans's app, or if you want me to write it out. So depending on their response, I might have to pause again to write out my order, because it's like, it has to be white rice. It has to be white rice. It has to be sofritas, because I don't eat meat. And then I want, actually I don't need avocado, even though I love avocado. Free Chipotle is a worthy cause. Exactly, right? Exactly. In the meantime, and while I'm waiting for this response, Jomon pottery. Look at this pottery, isn't it cool? So this is Japanese pottery, but it's like the oldest culture I think that we know of. It's from like the Jomon era, which is like I want to say like 2,500 years. No, actually 2,500 BCE. So give me a second. Oh no, I'm fake. I don't know this off the top of my head. I don't. So Wikipedia, always a trusted source, right? Says 14,000 BCE to 300 BCE. So that's not 14,000 years ago or 300 years ago. That's like you have to add 2,000 to it. So that's 16,000 years ago to 2,000 years ago. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. So yeah, this is like their early artwork, or at least the earliest that we know of. And I'm just a big fan of like Jomon pottery because it's just so unique. Like there's so many like if you look at this one over here. So you were saying it's kind of old, just a little bit. Just the teensiest bits, you know? Like predating Mesopotamia, just the teensiest of bits. But like the pottery, I'm a big fan because look at these like twists and turns. Like it's not something that you often find in like other cultures, at least from what I've seen. I'm happy to be corrected at any point. Like if you guys are like, actually the Olmecs also had pottery that looked like this, then I would be happy to be corrected. But I don't know, it's just so unique to me, like these twists and turns. And actually the very first page has another rendition. This one has even more because like look, there's like spikes here, there's twists and turns, and then there's like little places where like, you know, there's empty space. Oh no, I got the text back. They said, what's your order? Okay, give me a second, I'm getting that free Chipotle. Okay, I just finished with my Chipotle order. Okay, so hopefully it'll be coming soon. But yeah, so let's go back to this. Oh no, not that one. This one. In terms of how they actually made these textures, that one I need to do a little bit more research. But this is all ceramic, and ceramic is basically like clay that's been hardened. So the cool thing with ceramics is that like while it's still soft, you can do a whole bunch of cool things with it. You can make all these different shapes, and you can incise or carve into it these designs, right? And then it gets hardened, right? Because once it's hardened, it's a bit harder to do designs like this because then you risk it shattering and just ruining the whole thing. So while it's still soft, you can put all these cool designs in it, and maybe even like these twists and turns, and then you put it in the fire or you let it bake out in the sun and it hardens. Oh no, I got a text asking what's crema. Give me a second. Okay, they hit me with the salute emoji. I think we're good. If it does shatter, you can oh, nameless glob. Hello. Welcome to the class. I'm Babinka Bear, artist historian, art historian, Sunbear PNGTuber, and we're doing a little bit of an educational stream about texture. If it does shatter, you can crush the failed one to make grog to use as temper in the next batch. I didn't know that. See, like I don't know that much about ceramics, or at least like the process of making it. So thank you. That's awesome. Cool. I think designs are carved in at the leather hardness stage. Oh, I see. Hello, Aura. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm keeping high and dry. You guys are having a swim. A nice little swim. But yeah. So, like as it's being shown right now, I'm not as experienced with like making ceramics. The most experience I have is with like model magic, which isn't the same. It's like it's air dry clay and it's kind of flimsy, to be honest. I miss going swimming. Desert so hot. Oh no, that's right. It's really hot over there still, huh? We're learning to breathe a heavier atmosphere. Oh no. But yeah, so that's ceramics in a nutshell, or at least the extent of what I know. Another cool, well, two cool media that lend themselves well to like texture is one that you definitely shouldn't use, one that you definitely shouldn't fund or anything. But back in the olden days, they used to use something called ivory. And ivory, if you didn't know, comes from animals. It comes from elephant tusks and rhino horns. And unfortunately, that means that like the animal that it comes from was usually overhunted in order to get this ivory, right? And I was, oh, you know what? That was gonna be my next question. If you guys knew, is like, I don't know if there's like alternatives nowadays, but Gojikins in the chat is saying that you can make very good fake ivory now. I'm curious about that. So is it like epoxy, or is it like, well, only if you know. If you don't, feel free to just I'll look it up myself. But yeah, the big kind of controversial thing with ivory is that it did lead to like a lot of overhunting of like rhinos and elephants. Unfortunately, they got poached a lot. So that's why like people are looking for alternatives, or rather have found alternatives, right? But with the art that's already been made, here's some examples. So as you can see, like people are able to like do these intricate designs into the ivory, right? These are both medieval, by the way. This is ivory, this is textile. Textile is like basically anything that is like sewn, knitted, woven together, woven fates. Like and that also lends itself well to, it just has like a natural texture, because it's almost like I guess in modern wordage, it's kind of like pixel art in a way. Kind of. Not really. That's how I think of it. Usually paper and... Oh, resin! Okay. Because you were trying to replicate the layer lines as well. Okay. Yes, that's another thing with ivory. It's very, very similar to wood in that it has these like lines in it. It's just like a natural part of the medium. And it... I don't know, it kind of adds to the... Oh my god, I'm just noticing like... Look at the like punctured holes over here. I know you can't, it's like kind of zoomed out for you guys, but like, oh my god, that means there's like very fine detail in there. Carves a home stuck into someone's teeth. I know, that'll teach him. That's what the elephants have been wanting for us, huh? Tapestry is art for weavers. Yes! Yes. It's really cool. Like, there's so many different like traditions of like textiles and weaving all around the world. Like I know like in the Philippines, there's folks in the mountain regions and in the Muslim regions that they have their own textile tradition, where it's like they have a loom that's like I think strapped to their back, or like the counterweight is strapped to their back. And then there's like the huge looms in like Europe, and like just a lot of cultures all over the world have their own like traditions, and they all lend themselves well to like designs like this. So these are both medieval, from Europe, but nonetheless, you could find so much stuff in other cultures as well. Okay, I think this is actually the last one. This is actually the last slide, and then we have a little video too before we end it off. Have you ever played with a loom? There are a lot of interesting designs for them. I haven't. I have seen it, and I have seen that one Simpsons episode where, like, apparently, like, one of Marge's lore is that she used to know how to, like, use a loom, and she, like, it's just, like, an offhand... I think it's Marge. I want to say it's either Marge or it's Lois from Family Guy, but... No, I think it's Marge. It's Marge. So There's like an episode where it's like, oh, a loom. I used to. Wait, can I do her voice? A loom. No, I can't. I can't. I don't have like the graveliness. um, I used to use the loom back in college, Lisa. And then like she just like within a couple of strokes, she like creates a little like phrase that says like, look, I'm using a loom. And I haven't, but it looks like it would be fun to play around with, right? Because it is like a matter of like, I've seen videos of like you have to like push the chute through or something like that, and then you like open and close the loom. It seems like it would be interesting, but I don't think I can do it as quickly as Marge Simpson can. But yeah, so this is the last thing. There's so many other like artworks with like different textures in them, right? I'm just highlighting a few of them. But I did want to highlight this one. So these are Benin bronzes. So these are works that are made out of bronze. But look at all the texture in them. like it's just kind of, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I wanna give these one some justice. So we're actually gonna go to like the high def version of this picture. I'm gonna zoom in as much as we can, just so we can appreciate how much texture is in this. So this is bronze. This is solid bronze. So as opposed to something like ceramic, there's different ways to shape metal. Like bronze is a type of metal, right? There's different ways to shape it. One of the ways is to, yeah, I believe these are cast. These are like lost wax technique type of casting. At least that's like what the little bit that I've read. But we are also going to be looking at a video that actually goes into detail about like how they're made. It's either these ones or there's another one called the Ife heads. Those ones are like lost wax. So yeah, if the mention of like lost wax. So here's I wonder if I could just get a visual for it. But for now, let's admire. Oh my gosh, like look at this like skirt portion over here. Like look at all that detail. I think this might have been lost wax, plus they probably used some tools to like not carve, but like hammer out some of those details. But I'll show you guys what I mean by that. Oh my god, look at this. Super fine detail here. Super fine detail on the shield. So this takes a lot of like research and technology basically to do. And a lot of older cultures in Benin, in Nigeria, were doing these for like thousands of years. Or maybe not thousands, but like hundreds. Like it's been a very long time. It's a pretty old tradition. Yes, exactly, Gojikin. So abrasives too. Okay, so when it comes to making stuff out of metal, one way is to melt down the raw metal, right? Such as bronze. Melt it down, and then you pour it into a shape. Then when the metal cools, it takes on that shape. So in this case, can you imagine someone carving something out like this? To do that process, one of the processes is called lost wax technique, where they would first carve it. You know what? I think there's probably like a diagram that could do it a little bit more justice than I can. So lost wax technique. Let's look it up together. This one might be a better example. Here we go. So we have a... Oh yeah, thanks for getting your sticker, Aura. So here's an example of the lost wax technique. So they want to make like a head, right? So no head. So first they carve it out of clay, and then they put wax over the clay. And then they add like a variety of things too, of like these pins, all these things. They put even more clay, but like to kind of like shape it. Not shape it, but like this is what's going to become like the receptacle. This is where the wax is going, where the metal is going to be poured in. So invested in clay and baked, the wax melts out. Then the metal is poured into the mold, and then it comes out with that same shape. But then you have to like remove some of the details, and then you like kind of like what Gojikins was saying is that you have to like hammer out some of the details. You have to use abrasives and pins. Another way is to hammer a sheet of metal on a pot of red pitch and carefully carve the negative before flipping it and hammering the detail in. Oh, that's cool. That's so cool. I love like learning more about these things like with you guys. Oh, this is a cool one. Is this Mohenjo-daro? Yeah. I remember this. This is like one of the I took like an Indian art class one time, or Indian art history class. Mohenjo-daro is like an interesting site, Harappa, because it's like one of the older sites from South Asia. It's so full of attitude, yeah. Alpha, get me some teenagers with attitude. Hello, Saku. Hello, hello. I saw that you were doing art earlier. I was getting ready for stream, among other things, but I think you posted too, right? You posted in, yeah, Creative Cubs. So cute. Cute, cute. But yeah. So yeah, this is an example of this is bronze, right? Oh, Lost Wax copper alloy casting. Yeah, so but yeah, you get these like really cool. You sure did. Yeah. I saw. It's really cute. Thank you for sharing. But yeah, so let's go back here to the Benin bronzes. Like, oh my gosh, this is so much detail. One wonders how they got to so much detail. Well, we have a video. This too, like I love the texture on like the necklaces and the hair. So we do have a video that we're gonna be watching. Let me just turn off the music. We're gonna watch together. So hello, Salku. We're actually about to end soon because a certain stinky orc is streaming, and I wanna raid into him. But we were talking about textures and different ways that you can make textures, and we're actually gonna be looking at the last Benin bronze makers in the world. So let's go ahead and do that. I want to find out more too. We might skip around, but I will hit up the VOD. Yeah, nice. We might skip around, but I wanna find out as much as I can about these bronzes. Ah, so it looks like they are using tools to like help hammer out those shapes. It's cool that they're still doing this though, that there's still like artists that do this. Oh no. I used that technique I learned from you last time to using a bright color under your line art. It helped a lot. Oh yeah. I'm glad that it helped. I'm glad. I also want to catch the VOD of your artwork. The soil that they're using, or the dirt that they're using, reminds me of the acai bowl I had earlier, which is really good. Not that I would accidentally eat precious Egun dirt though. Oh, that looks so like satisfying to hold. It's just like dirt and water, right? And I guess clay, honestly. Does that look like satisfying? Also, look at his fit. Isn't that cool? Like super. We're talking about textures, right? Like I would say that his fit. Like look at that. Isn't that so much texture? Oh, I think this is lost wax technique. This is lost wax technique. That's so cool. You can tell that I didn't really like. I only watched a little bit before I actually put the video on here, but I just thought it was neat. Oh wow, so they're using the wax to make those textures. That's awesome. Doing this way will help reduce how much material is needed in the cast while maintaining detail. Ah, and as we saw from that picture, there's so much detail. It's amazing. Like, like I said, I'm not really well versed in like 3D art at all, but like, there's one of those things that's like, maybe I should start. Man, I'm falling in love with it. It just looks so satisfying. I lied. I don't know if we'll skip around because all of this is like really cool. Oh, okay, okay. Milky, hello, hello. Thank you. Yeah, it's it's supposed to be a summer outfit, but instead the room has flooded. So I thought it would be appropriate for me to have my swimsuit on. But hello, we're gonna be ending off in a little bit to raid into our stinky orc, but we're talking about texture and we're looking at how this community makes like bronze art. Oh, it's okay, Milky. We'll do a little bit of review before we raid the orc, right? On the topic of 3D, you could do something similar in printing. You can create voids in your print to reduce how much material. Oh, while maintaining strength and reducing print time. Oh, that's so cool. Back from the vet. Yearly anti-rabies for cats, and now I'm watching. Ah, okay. I'm glad you could make it. I'm glad. Yeah, it's just really cool to see like I said, I'm very weak with like ceramics, clay, like any kind of metal work. So it's cool to like see the process of it. Especially like I've learned about what's it called? Like lost wax technique since I was in middle school and I just did not understand it until like I want to say just this past year. Same technique is used in the Philippines. That's so cool. For dainty jewelry. Ah, okay. Cool, cool. I was tempted to add in some Filipino art in here too because we're looking at different art from all over the world. So like Jomon pottery from Japan, medieval ivories and textiles, and there's some Filipino ivories as well. Really fancy stuff, but I was like, no, I should keep it short, right? Maybe next time. Next time. Okay, so this is what they're doing to like emphasize all the detail. I learned about lost wax originally when looking into jewelry making. When I was a kid, I was into making wire jewelry. My dad had like a kit for it for some reason. He just liked to buy random stuff from like the thrift store, and one of them was like a um 1200s. Dang. Yeah, he was like at a Salvation Army or something, and he just found like a wire jewelry kit and gave it to me. Oh, wire wrap was your first intro. That's so cool. I haven't done it since I was like a kid, but it was fun. I think it's because I kept on getting cut. Like, it's a miracle I didn't get tetanus, but like I remember like I would get cut by the wire every so often. Oh no, the colonialism. Oh. Colonialism! Wait, give me a second. Colonialism! Nah! You can do it with the stuff you find at the dollar store. Is great for practice. Ah! All of these are things that I would want to get back into, right? So we looked at the process. We could just skip around and see. Oh, this is getting into kind of like the politics of like repatriation, which if you guys don't know, like I'm sure you guys have heard of the term like appropriation, like cultural appropriation, and there's a lot of like complexity with that. There's a lot of opinions about it. Reappropriation is basically like returning, especially like in the museum world, it's returning works that were like stolen or pillaged or otherwise taken and returning it to its rightful home. But that also is very complex because I think we talked about this before, right? Like, what happens if that culture that it was stolen from is no longer exists, or like we don't know who are the descendants, or the descendants are like many tribes or many communities now. I will not be educated. Hello, Roker Brave. Hello. We are kind of at the tail end of things, but we could do a little bit of review. Let's do a little bit of review, shall we? It's okay. I'm hoping that my lessons are a bit more on the fun side, but if you would like to just vibe instead of subscribe to the education, then that's fine too. That's totally fine too. Yeah, we were talking about texture basically. So, these are just ways of like how to look at art, right? So, line, shape, forms, value, color. Color's one of my favorites, but we're looking at like texture and examples, right? Like how would you describe this piece of art? I'm glad I can't read. How are you typing? How mysterious. But we were also looking at like different artists, right? We were looking at different artists that use texture in interesting ways. This is one of my favorites. I like Ganuza. Look at those yummy fried eggs. Eggs. And the different ways that they show texture, even if it's like a 2D art. But we were also looking at 3D art too. We were talking about ceramics earlier, talking about ivory, textiles. I think that's what when let me put the music back on. There you go. When Milky was talking about oh yeah, minis are another good example. I think that's the last thing that we can look at before we end it for today. Yeah, super fancy, right? So like these are ivories from medieval times. These are textiles. When Milky was talking about like Filipino artwork, I think I had mentioned like there are the Ifugao, the mountain communities, and then the Muslim communities down south in Mindanao. They have really like a really rich weaving culture as well. Attack Gucci kids. Oh no. Oh no, you guys are attacking each other. But yeah, so and then we were just looking at the Benin bronzes as well. So there's so many other examples of like texture in art that I couldn't fit all in here, but we can at least like look at a couple. Like let's look at the Ife. One of my favorites is the Ife heads. This is also metal. Just because like I used to work at a museum that was all like it was like non-European art. And the cool thing about it is that like well, not cool. Like how do I say this? Like there's a lot of misconceptions about like non-European art being like, oh, it's like at least back in the day, like oh, non-European art is so like primitive and like they don't make it realistic, so therefore they don't know how to make art, right? Where it's like, first of all, like even if art doesn't look realistic to like the human body, that doesn't mean that it's not good. I mean, like I said, look at like the amazing detail on these bronzes, right? But also, there are cultures that are non-European that can do like more realistic, more like naturalistic stuff, like the Ife bronzes. I think another one is the moche ceramics. I'm a big fan of the moche. Like these ones, these look like, this looks like it could be someone's face, right? It's not like generalized. It looks like it's like a portrait of someone. But even if they didn't do that, even if it was super stylized like this, that doesn't make it bad art at all. In fact, this takes a lot of skill. So that's me on my high horse. That's me on my soapbox. That's me on my desk while you guys are drowning. Doggy style live on the telly. This one? Oh yeah, baby. Big fan of moche. Big fan of the moche. I actually don't even know what is this. I think this is also some smex. Or it could be, is this childbirth? This is childbirth. This is you know, here's we gotta bring out the good ceramics, you know? We gotta Milky, we're expecting guests. Take out the good ceramics. We can't be showing them just the doggies. That's for our personal use. We gotta bring out the good stuff, you know? So but more than likely this is probably some like, well, not more than likely. I want to say that this might have been ceremonial, you know? This might have been something that, like, they were probably drinking some kind of concoction, which might help with fertility in a way. Yes, Master, you want the doggy or the birthing one? There are a lot of sexual ones in the ceramic jug where, yeah, ceremonial. No, it's true, though. It's true. Like, you do, in like, you know, we... It was a bit before you joined the class, Roka, but like a couple of weeks ago at this point, me and Milky, we had a collab where we talked about kind of like the sexual part of art history. And it is very easy to be like hee hee haha, but in a lot of ways, a lot of that kind of art is usually ceremonial. But sometimes it is just porn. But otherwise, sometimes it is ceremonial. But you know, pleasure was a thing back then. Alright, getting kinky. They sold very well, so shrug. Yeah, exactly. We should collab again. I'd be so down. We can talk more about stuff like this too. The ceremony of it all. But also, doggy. But also, dancing Colima dogs. Look at them. Look at them. See, texture. Texture, color. Okay. I think I said that we were gonna look at like Halbernacht if we had the time, but I do feel like this we should end it off, and then maybe for next week we'll look at Halbernacht stuff. We'll look at more minis as well, and then we'll incorporate all this talk that we had about like texture, right? So yeah, that is pretty much today's class. So that's all, folks. Think about how texture is used in different types of art and how you can incorporate it in your own art. So that is it for today. 2 weeks from now is the very last edition of this series of BINKA Teaches Art Appreciation, and we're going to be talking about space, but not outer space. It's actually how like space is used in art, you know? Stuff like composition. What does composition mean, right? Like why did Van Gogh go with this instead of putting this spire right dead center, right? So stuff like that. Space, the last place uncorrupted by capitalism. Space. But yeah, I do think we have enough time for a mosh pit. We have enough time for a mosh pit, and then we're gonna raid into the stinky orc, right? Making 3D space on a 2D page. That one's also like an awesome topic. So yeah, let's mosh, shall we? For any newbies in the chat, our mosh pit is just it's our end of stream tradition. Let me go ahead and open it up. There we go. Oh, there we go. I already picked out a song. I was vibing with, hey, oh no, open up the pit. So yeah, we have a tradition, the end of stream mosh pit, where all you gotta do is once the music starts, you can just spam an emote of your choice. We also I'm getting rotated. Let me put myself behind the desk too. There we go. I got rotated. Can we get pool noodles for the mosh pit? Unfortunately, we don't have the funding for it. We don't even have the funding to fix the pipes. It's gonna be flooded for a while, kiddos. But yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, we also have the mosh pit command, where your little avatars are gonna fight each other, but there's nothing that you can do to affect whether you win or not. It's RNG. So, with all of that out of the way, let's mosh and let's. Good job, everyone. Oh, there we go. Let me fix my face. Good job, everybody. So once again, next week we'll do art appreciation. Then we can fully appreciate the artists like Zocco, like Helbernacht, that other one that you recommended, Matthew. But tomorrow we have our Digimon watch along on the Discord, and then on Saturday, what did I put again? I think I put pixel art. I have to check again, but otherwise, I think that's it for today. Yeah, if you guys want to join in on the Digimon watch along, it's going to be at my Discord, which is linked in the chat. Thank you, Matthew. But now, where is that stinky orc? Where is he? He better not have stopped. Well, okay, there he is. Okay, everyone. We're gonna go ahead and raid Randon. Thanks for always stopping by to my classes, to my educational streams. I appreciate it, and I appreciate all the feedback that you guys give me, all of the experiences that you guys share. I love it. I love it. So I'll see you guys next time. Let's go ahead and start the raid. Have a good morning, afternoon, or evening, and as always, I'll see you guys when I see you guys. Well, bye. Love you guys. Whoa!